Shalom. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, a.k.a. the head apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well, sound doctrine. Shalom to the elders of Great Millstone as well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to other sincere Akim who subscribe to this truth, and the Akwath as well. Hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, making their bodies a living sacrifice, preaching and teaching in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and risking their freedom to do so, to bring it out. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the men of Valor Camp, NYC, New Jersey, first camp I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62, verses 6 through 7. Keep not silence, day or night. Give him no rest. To Jerusalem is a praise in all the earth. So back at it with another sit down. The spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Lord's will, you'll be edified by the sit down, and let's get into it. So I'm going to cover a few things. Start out with this video from this very diligent brother, the same city, San Diego, where I'm at. GMS San Diego House of Bread is his page. Subscribe to this diligent Northern Kingdom Brothers page and be constantly edified by the videos that he's putting out. And I'm going to get into a few other things as well. I'm actually going to put this up on my backup channel first because I'm going to go into some deep topics to the best of my ability. And, if the YouTube bots don't snatch it down, I will throw it up. Right now it's about 7:05 in the morning, about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock or so, about, anywhere between 4 or 6 hours from now, or 4 or 6 hours after it gets released. So let's get it.
Seeing how shortage of computer chips, like the one I have here, you can hardly see it, I imagine. It's called a semiconductor. It's caused delays in production of automobiles. It has resulted in reduced hours for American workers. The 21st century.
We'll see this again.
Recently, we've seen how shortage of computer chips, like the one I have here, you can hardly see it, I imagine. It's called a semiconductor. It's caused delays in production of automobiles. It has resulted in reduced hours for American workers. A 21st century horseshoe nail. This semiconductor is smaller than a postage stamp, but has more than 8 billion transistors. 8 billion transistors, 10,000 times thinner than a single human hair in this one chip. These chips are a wonder of innovation and design. They power so much of our country, enable so much of our modern lives to go on. Not just our cars, but our smartphones, televisions, radios, medical diagnostic equipment, and so much more. We need to make sure these supply chains are secure and reliable.
And it's pretty ironic that he signs this bill, right? Or this executive order, better yet. And it has to do with chips, right? And he's relating it to cars and smartphones and things of that nature. But in the fine print, it's about the economy, man. So what's that going to lead to? WFI, IUIC, ISUPK, HOI, all you camps out there that are talking about the market spiritual, well, pretty soon when this thing gets mandated, you're going to pretty soon have to humble down and admit that GMS had it right, or you're going to have to go into hiding, man, because you are teaching lies. And every day more and more as more and more of these developments start being pushed, countries are mandating that V. It's getting one step closer, steps and steps closer to eventually them mandating this right here. And what are you going to say in that day? But let's continue.
I'm directing senior officials in my administration to work with industrial leaders to identify solutions to this semiconductor shortfall, and work very hard with the House and Senate. They've authorized the bill, but they need roughly $37 billion short term to make sure we...
Our constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that, mark my words, before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined toward criminality or violent behavior? You will rule on that.
This is an Omega Watch.
So let's get into my part of the lesson. I'm going to share another one of this Diligent Brothers videos in the later part of this lesson, but I'm going to go on to a few different articles that are going into them making advancements towards eventually pushing this, but they have to do a whole bunch of stuff in the background to get people to just, to get people to accept it through gradualism, and it's happening right now on different avenues. So I'm going to cover some of those avenues right now. So this is from RT News right here. This is published the 24th. Today is the 27th, 7:09 a.m. Here in California. So global airline industry body launches Crown Royale travel pass by March. Global airline industry body to launch Crown Royale pass by March, better yet. And that month March is key. Going to get into that a little bit, Lord's will, in this lesson. So I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm just going to read the first 2 sentences right here and keep it moving in the interest of time. So the International Air Transport Association, IATA, announced that it will launch a Crown Royale travel pass by March, which says it will give travelers a way to display test results and confirmation that they've received the V. The measure, dubbed by the IATA Travel Pass, is aimed at providing government, airlines, and travelers with a streamlined process to ensure there is accurate information, secure identification, and verified data available to meet all relevant Crown Royale restrictions. So, right from the horse's mouth, from their media, from their medium. And RT News is pretty accurate, and they're consistent with the news and the coverage that your local and national news chains in the, greater Babylon area won't cover. And props to RT News for that, because they bring out a lot of key information that a lot of the major news and medium outlets in the United States won't cover, and they cover it first. They sort of put pressure on these other news outlets to get the news and information out. So don't rely on Crown Royale passports for travel. WHO's Ryan urges amid shortage of jabs. That's all and that's all a push, for them to, get people to go down there, So this is a article from Forbes. Let's read this. This came out. When did it come out? It came out last night. Doesn't say the date. Oh, yeah, February 25th. So it came out 2 days ago. And let's read it. This is One Stop Digital ID. This One Stop Digital ID app wants to cut through the Crown Royale passport noise. Let's read it. A little bit about it. Let's read down to this part right here. So you can see they want to get people to, accept these new measures that they're taking, and they're going to do it through your smartphone, and pretty soon they're going to do it through, Mad Max. Maybe a combination of both. With the Mad Max, and then you verify it with your phone, and then eventually, through that chip, man. This is all a push for that. So let's read it. With dozens of Mad Max passport solutions now in the works around the globe, it's conceivable that in the coming months, a traveler might be asked to download multiple different apps to provide their Crown Royal Max status at various points during a single trip. Various countries and airlines are developing their own smartphone apps to allow inoculated travelers to avoid mandatory quarantining and testing, yet there has been little international or even national coordination on how to implement Mad Max passes, leaving a potentially unwieldy mixed bag of digital downloads in store for travelers. Look, the need is absolutely urgent, says Amina Ali, CEO of digital identity innovator Airside Mobile. And quite honestly, there is so much noise right now in the marketplace. So they're pushing for this thing, and they're pushing for this thing, and they're pushing for this thing. And pretty soon, to get on a plane, train, bus, you're going to have this thing, man. What's that going to lead to? Us in the know, we know. The chip with no dip, man. No salsa, man. So I just found this the other day on the 25th. And this is, I'm not going to read this. I'm just going to read the title. I'm going to actually try to leave a link to all these articles, or some of these articles, better yet, the ones that are important, in the actual description box once the video is actually up and published. But you can see the title right here, Digital ID coming to Finland, Germany, and Mexico. So, I'll read the first sentence right here. Finland, Germany, and Mexico are each continuing to digitize their population management to join the growing global movement towards having a national digital identity. So, you can see the push. Pressure from below, pressure from above, Let's get on to this other article, released the 25th. The digital dollar is now high priority for the Fed. So let's read the first few sentences. Let's read a little bit of this. Looks like I wanted to read quite a bit of this, but let's get it. So the U.S. is starting to get serious about a central bank-backed digital currency, with recent comments from top officials laying out the strongest support yet. Driving on the news. On Tuesday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell told Congress that developing a digital dollar is a high priority project for us, but added that there are significant technical and policy questions. On Wednesday, Fed researchers released a report titled Preconditions for a General Purpose Central Bank Digital Currency, detailing what some of those questions might be. Why it matters. More consumers and financial institutions are transitioning toward digital payments, creating pressure on policymakers to ensure the dollar's status as the world reserve currency remains intact. The big picture. Powell's high priority language and ensuing report reflect in a shift in rhetoric and action from the Fed. Yeah, they want to push this thing, man, which had previously urged caution and patience on the developing of a digital dollar. Treasury Secretary and former Fed Chair Janet Yellen had similar comments earlier this week, saying it makes sense for central banks to be looking at the issue. Too many Americans don't have access to easy payments systems and banking accounts, and I think this is something that a digital dollar, a central bank digital currency, could help with. It could result in faster, safer, and cheaper payments, which I think are important goals. And they try to make this thing seem like it's the best thing, since sliced bread, man, But you know what they're pushing, man. Us in the know what they're pushing, man. And that's the beast system, And eventually, what's it going to lead to? That mark, that chip with no dip, man, So what's happening? Cash accounted for just 20.5% of all in-store payments globally, down by nearly a third from 2019, according to a report from financial services company FIS. By 2024, FIS expects that to drop down to 13%. The pandemic accelerated the decline of cash by over 3 years, exceeding in 2020 our previous projection for 2023. FIS analysis wrote in the report. Between the lines, perhaps more important, better yet, than the decline in cash usage is the growing popularity of cryptocurrencies and the acceleration of real-world testing by China's central bank of its own digital currency. Data analysis company MicroStrategy announced Wednesday that it had purchased another 1.7 of Bitcoin, while payment processor Square announced that it added another 170 million of the cryptocurrency. So you can see what they're trying to push: digital currency from the Fed. And what's that going to lead to? Well, that thing, man, that thing, the MOBZ for Sheezy, man. This happened 2 days ago as well. The Fed Reserve payment system crashed and service was restored hours later. But what if the dollar crashes, What if the Federal Reserve System crashes permanently? What if the power grid goes down, and they have to reset everything, Think about that, Well, what would they have to do? Implement a new system, AKA the Great Reset, So this is a article that was originally published the 24th, and it was updated last night. And this is about the Biden executive order. Let's read about it a little bit. Amid shortfalls, Biden signs executive order to bolster critical supply chains. The order is intended to help insulate the economy from future shortages of critical imported components by making the United States less reliant on foreign supplies. Okay. But it's an economy bill, We can run it. Executive order on economy, and it has to do with the chip. Okay, Esau. Sure. Let's read about it, though. Washington automakers have been forced to halt production because of lack of computer chips. Healthcare workers battling the COVID-19 pandemic had to make do without masks as the United States waited on supplies from China, and pharmaceutical executives worried that supplies of critical drugs could dry up if countries tried to stockpile key ingredients and block exports. Deep disruptions in the global movement of critical goods during the pandemic prompted President Biden on Wednesday to take steps towards reducing the country's dependence on foreign materials. he issued an executive order requiring his administration to review critical supply chains with the aim of bolstering American manufacturing of semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, and other cutting-edge technologies. What cutting-edge technologies? This, which they already have it. They already have it in the cut. But they have to make it appear to the general public that this is something new. They've been had these things, man, and they've been waiting for that time, to push, and this is their time to push. And it just so happened to be that they're looking to do this by March. Going to get into that in a little minute, but let's play this brother's video right here. This is the Diligent Brother out of San Diego, GMS San Diego, House of Bread. Baba Kasha, subscribe to this brother's page, man. You got haters hitting the unlike button. Haters gonna hate, but it's all good. Every hater, man. You're gonna have to, basically feel the pain, man. Once that day comes, man. Because you see these videos going up, and you see brothers being diligent, and you go on brothers' pages, and you mock and you scoff, and you unlike the videos, and you're gonna have your day, man. But that's a different subject, different lesson. But let's get into this brother's video right here.
Hey, Shalom, brothers, real quick. Giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth. Salakia for the music. This is the background music at the gas station. But as you brothers can see, I'm here at the gas station, and this is what it says: wireless pay coming soon.
And there was a brother in my hometown. Literally, I was just on Facebook, just scrolling up and down, and I seen and happened to notice that there was a similar one in Washington, but it didn't say wireless pay coming soon, and it was all whited out, and it was a little box like this, and it was right above the slot where you put your card in, man. So I went around looking locally to see if I could find one in my area. I couldn't find one in my area, but I've seen similar videos, that have been taken down by YouTube in the past that show this little slot being above ATMs as well, and ATMs, and at gas stations, But the first one I seen was one that had that little thing in an ATM slot, So they're gonna push this thing, and they already have, some of these ATMs and places where you insert your card already set up, for when that day is to come when they mandate this thing, man.
All right. So when you go to your local gas stations, and this is all gearing up to the chip.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, Esau basically wants you to just be able to pay wireless. And that's all going into the chip, man. So I wanted to show you brothers that real quick. Brothers can see I'm here at a gas station. All right. Wireless pay, man. The mark of the beast is the RFID chip. All right. And this is what the system is gearing up to, the mark of the beast.
Con. And you fake leaders in Israel, man, you're gonna have to get some answers, man. You're gonna have a lot of explaining to do, explaining to do, but you're gonna have a lot of explaining to do in that day, man. So let's get into it a little more about this month of March. So Mars was the Roman god of war, and second only to Jupiter in the Roman pantheon. Most of the myths involving the god were borrowed from the Greek god of war, Ares. March, nevertheless, had some features which were uniquely Roman. And these are the Romans and the Greeks coming back in the reincarnation, man. These Edomites, they're the children of Esau, but they're the Greco-Roman Empire coming back, man, to do that final push. Let's get into a little bit more about this this Roman god of war, that's revolved around the month of March. And they're doing this push right before the month of March. You know, this, you know. And what's this all doing? You know, this as well, making these announcements, you know, not that, but this as well, all happen to be right around a few weeks leading up to, and the week before leading into the month of March. Well, it's their way of declaring war, man, you know, through their legislation, and, you know, through their rhetoric, through their magites and sorcerers, you know, their medium, and eventually through their laws, you know, they're declaring war. You know, the great accusation, you know, the Congress meeting last week, you know, that was all part of it as well, you know. And they do these things right around the time of the Passover as well, you know, which is coming up pretty soon, you know. And right around and leading up to the month of March, a lot of these things happen, man, you know. So this is a very spiritual time. And the reason why they do it is because these are the Greeks and the Romans coming back, man. You know, these are the Greeks and the Romans back, better yet. So let's read about it. In ancient Rome religion and myth, Mars was the god of war and also an agricultural guardian, a combination characteristic of early Rome. He was the son of Jupiter and Juno, and he was the most prominent of the military gods in the religion of the Roman army. Read that again so you get the point. And he was the most prominent of the military gods in the religion of the Roman army. Most of his festivals were held in March, the month named for him, and in October, which began the season for military campaigning and ended the season for farming. So, you know, their military campaigning is beginning, man, you know. And who's that to wage war on? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You Israelites, man. Who's the face of the CV-19? Jake. Who are they trying to blame for the Asian American hate? Now, Jake. You know, who's the number one enemy via these new domestic terrorism, you know, bills and measures that they're taking? The prophets, man. And Jake as well, man. You know, anybody who believes the prophets report, you know, you believers out there, you know, you're not exempt from this, man. Just because you're not in the highways and byways, man, you're watching the videos. Guess what? You're enemy of the state too, man. You know, you believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Yahweh Shai, you're enemy of the state too, man. You know. So let's get into some scriptures. Been rambling, and you know, Lord's will, you were edified by this secular information I brought out, but let's get into some scriptures and let's get it wrapped up. So this is Psalms 37:7. Rest in the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. Now, if you go into the Strong's definition for fret, it means to be hot, to be mad, to be, you know, to have anger, to be just mad at this guy. You know, don't be mad at this guy because he's prospering in his way. You know, we know this guy is going to come to his end. You know, and his kingdom is coming to an end. It goes into a few other words as well, but basically it means not to be, you know, displeased, mad, angry. And one of the definitions in the Strong's was hot, and I found that right on point, you know, because, you know, you're supposed to have righteous anger at this guy, but don't just, you know, go off the lid and, you know, go do some stupid shit, you know. Know that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to reward this man for, you know, all the evils that he's done to our people and all the evils that he's pushing in the earth, man. You know, this guy's going to have his day, man. So this is Psalms 37:7. Rest in the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way. because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. And, you know, the push for this is a wicked device right here, man. You know, we know what you're trying to do with this, man. You know, we know what this is. And we know that this executive order on the economy, we know what it's really about. You know, you can fool the general public, but you can't fool the prophecy. How about Shem Shai, man? You know, we've been given the mysteries and the secrets, man, and we know what this is all about. This is Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And what are those bounds? When he comes after the prophets, man. You know, Psalms 105 and 15, man. You know, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm, man. You know, that when the enemy shall come in like a flood, you know, Isaiah 59:19. You know, when this guy comes after the prophets, man, it's going to be some smoke in the city, man. You know, and call Halom Yahweh B'Shem Yahshai for the understanding of it, man. And, you know, so this is Job 5:12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And what's their enterprise? This great reset, the New World Order, you know, chipping everybody, you know, chips and no dip, you know, the abominable Super Bowl party, you know, where he's going out there giving chips and no dip to everybody, you know. He's not going to be able to perform that, you know, in his full fruition, man. He's going to get disappointed, man, you know, and all of his crafty devices, you know, will be hewed down, man, you know, destroyed by the angels, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a beautiful sighting, man, you know, and, you know, I don't want to wrap this on. I'm here to, you know, and you brothers and sisters who listen to these videos are here to, you know, to see that, man, because that's what we're in it for, man, the victory, you know, because the victory is written and the elect will get the victory. And Lord, you know, Abba Ratazah, Adawan Ratazah, we're those men and women, man, you know, we're those men, man. So this is Revelation. I'm going to read 12 through 17. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, the Greco-Roman Empire, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And, you know, this is America. America is Rome 2.0, you know. Everything about it resembles Rome, man, you know. The laws, the legislations, you know, the fact that we have a Democratic and Republican Party, they had the same thing back in Rome, man. You know, two different parties. You know, the fact that they're into, you know, pedestry, which is called pedophilia now, you know, and that's pushed. You know, the LGBT, well, they didn't have LGBTQ back then because they didn't have the ability to, you know, their science is a little more advanced. But, you know, the whole alphabet movement, you know, the abominable people, the abominable alphabet soup, you know, their laws and legislations, you know, the fact that they try to promote abominable foods to our people, you know, it's Rome 2.0, man. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you know, making fire come down from heaven, those nuclear bombs, you know. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, you know. And he's deceived the whole world as well. Nobody knows who they are, you know. Nobody knows who their biblical nationality is. You know, everybody's walking around calling themselves these bywords. Even their own Edomite brothers are doing so. Even Esau himself is doing so, calling himself white. You know, I'm from Finland, Holland. No, you're Esau, man. You know, now you're going to have some Jake sprinkled in among them, but for the most part, you know, it's just a big old party of Esau over there, man. You know. And this guy's running from his biblical nationality, and he hates it, man. There was a video put up by a few brothers and elders going into that. Elder Yashawamba did a remix on a video, and the video was originally published by, I don't know the brother's channel, but basically Esau's running from his identity, and there was a Edomite pastor saying that basically he doesn't believe that Isaiah 63 was talking about Esau. No, it's talking about Esau, man. He's just all in shock and disbelief. No, it means what it means, man. And the fact that you don't understand it is beautiful, because none of the wicked shall understand, man. And the wicked aren't supposed to understand. Who are you to declare my statutes, man? Psalms 50 and 16, man. To the wicked, how about Shemashai said unto the wicked, who are you to declare my statutes, man? You're not supposed to touch that book, man. This book is for us, the Israelites, man, and particularly the hopeful elect. That's who the book is really for, man, because that's who salvation is for, man. All the rest of the other seed of Israel have to die off, man, to be reborn in the kingdom to get that glory. The elect is who the Bible is really for, man. So let's get into it. So this is Revelation 15 and 14. Revelation 13 and 14. Revelation 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live, the Greco-Roman Empire, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. These guys, that's what this is all about, life to the mark, and the image of the beast. That's his philosophies, that's his wine, his rhetoric, Darwinism, what's that word I'm looking for? Iconoclasm, making himself, let's read this, because this is right here in this passage is right here in this chapter. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. He blasphemed the angels, man. He blasphemed the Most High, changing his name to God, changing the Messiah's name to Jesus. He's blaspheming the image of the Most High and his Son, making them Edomites, blasphemed his message, by teaching this love everybody doctrine, Well, if the Most High loved everybody, why did he kill everybody in the flood, man? Why did he destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, man? If he loved everybody, man, why didn't he want everybody to come together when Nimrod was trying to build the Tower of Babel, man? If he loved everybody and want everybody to come together, man, because that ain't, the God of this world, Baal, man. That's who they're pushing, man. That's the image and the vibration that Esau's pushing, man. The God of the Bible doesn't love everybody, man. And the God of the Bible isn't all love, man. He only loves the elect and Israel, man. The Israel of the Most High, man. That's who he loves, man. Because all Israel will be saved, but guess what? They got to go and experience death by pain first, man. And then you'll get the kingdom, man. So let's get it. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak. And a part of the image of the beast, is, his science, his magites and sorcerers, his way of life, Edomite supremacy. That's the image of the beast right there, man. Saying that people evolved from monkeys, the Big Bang Theory, blaspheming the creation and how the creation was started. How creation was started. Creation was started by Yahushua and the Elohim, man. That's how creation was started. You know what I'm saying? Well, it was started from the Most High, who created Yahushua, the first spirit created, and Yahushua and the Elohim, created everything, man. Those first spirits, those first fruits, man. So let's get into it. Revelation 13 and 15, I keep on reading this, but I'm going to read it again. And he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many that as should not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Those concentration camps, you know, these draconian measures and laws that he's taken, the accusations and persecution that, you know, he plans on, you know, doing to the prophets. He's going to come down into the rest of the nation of Israel, you know, as well. You know, anybody who doesn't want to take this man's mark, you know, you're going to be faced with the ultimatum, man, you know. And he's going to come after all nations, because among all nations, you got Jake. You got Jake out there in India. You got Jake out there in the Philippines. You got Jake out there in the land of Ham, you know, thinking he's a doo-doo stinking ass Hamite. Then, you know, then wondering why he doesn't get along with the other Hamites, you know. You got Jake out there in the land of Esau, you know, thinking he's Esau, you know. Perfect example of Israelite foreigner, Paul Wall, man, you know, Bruce Lee, you know. Just to give you a couple of examples of Israelite foreigners, man, you know. Paul Wall, man, that's a Jake, you know. You can see that's a Jake, man, you know. Conor McGregor, that's a Jake, you know. Not to get off topic, let's go. So, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Neuralink. Let's get the other part of this video.
The installation of a link, getting a link, so
Let's listen to this crazy ass nigga, man.
the threads in place, because they're just like little fine wires. I mean, frankly, to sort of simplify this, what we're, I mean, it's more complicated than this, but it's, in a lot of ways, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires. No wires. In terms of getting a link, so that, you need to have the device, a great device, and you also need to have a great robot that puts in the electrodes and does the surgery. So you want the surgery to be as automated and as possible, and the only way you can achieve the level of precision that's needed is with an advanced robot.
The mad scientist, man. This nigga wildin', B.
The link procedure, the installation of a link done in...
And this is why we're gonna need Yahweh Shai, man. You know, we're gonna need to be delivered from this, man, because this man's gonna come down with draconian measures, and, you know, eventually his military, you know, his sword, to mandate and implement all this, man. You know, we're gonna need to be hidden, man. You know, and may Yahweh Bashim Shai put, you know, election on your household. May you be hidden through these times, man.
Under an hour, so you can basically go in the morning and leave the hospital in the afternoon, and it can be done without general anesthesia. And we actually ultimately want this robot to do essentially the entire surgery. So in everything from incision, removing the skull, inserting the electrodes, placing the device, and then closing things up,
bro,
and having you ready to leave. So we want to have a fully automated system. So this shows you at sort of close-up view, which I think is actually not too gruesome, of the electrodes being inserted in the brain.
It did not stop then, and it must not stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that. Mark my words before your tenure is over.
He's crazy, bro. Man. This is prophecy. This is beautiful that it's happening, and we get to see this happen. And, you know, to those that understand it, man, because you have Israelite camps out there and Israelites who just don't get it. You know, they really think that the mark is spiritual. They really think that, you know, the devil, you know, is some man in a red suit, you know, in the abyss of the earth with the pitchfork, man. You know. Lost in the sauce, man. So this is I'm gonna read 16 again, Revelation 13:16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That's what this push is all about. You know, that's what this is all about. You know, because imagine if the Federal Reserve System crashes for good. What are they gonna have to do? They're gonna have to replace the monetary system with what? Digital currency, man. you know, and through what means? This right here. Let's go back to the beginning of the video.
And reduced hours for American workers. A 21st century horseshoe nail.
The horseshoe nail. Wow. And there was a video put out by Elder Tazawam, Shalom Elder. Lively Stones 144 is his backup channel, and then he has a main backup channel. Actually, that's his second backup channel. First backup channel is Stay in the Spirit 144 BA, and then his main channel is Stay in the Spirit 144. Subscribe to that Elder's page. He's very diligent, and constantly be edified by his videos that are coming out. But he put a video out yesterday going into this same topic, different passages and, different, of course, secular information. But he revealed that Joe Biden also said, I believe, that for the kingdom not to be lost, they have to push this, man. And what kingdom? Esau's kingdom, man. And this guy's crying. This is Esau crying out for that birthright, man. All over again, man. This is Esau crying out, to try to get the birthright back, man. But he's not going to get it back, man. You gave that up, Jack, for some uncooked stew, which further shows who Esau is, man. Who likes raw meat, who eats rare steaks. Who likes that shit? What group of people on the earth like that shit? I'll wait. Oh yeah, I'll bring it out. Esau, man. That's who likes that shit. This is Revelation 13:17. And no man might buy or sell that he that had the mark or name of the beast or number of his name. Why is he pushing for
The semiconductor.
so WFI, IUIC, ISUPK. Explain this. Why is he signing an executive order about the economy? And why does he have a microchip in his hand? If there's a spiritual mark, what's this all about? And if the mark is Christianity, then aren't we all doomed? I used to believe in calling on white Jesus. I used to say the name God and believe that. Now, if I've had those philosophies, or I believed in that philosophy, am I technically doomed? Technically I am doomed. Pursuant to Revelation 14, 9 and 10, I am doomed, right? Because if it says if you take the mark, you'll be destroyed, right? Well, according to your logic, IUIC, if the mark is Christianity, then I'm destroyed. I shouldn't be able to. I should just give up the lesson right now, pack it on up, and just go out there and go buy an eighth and start smoking blunts again, man. Technically, according to your definition, right? I'm through, right? See, that's why you got to be able to follow the right guys in Israel, man. Because those groups and those leaders of those camps will have you lost in the sauce, man. And if the mark is spiritual and philosophies, then aren't we all doomed? WFI, HOI, don't we all have those thoughts, those philosophies that jump into our brain? Weren't we all into, whatever we were into that was against the scriptures? Well, if that's the case, and if you've been into those things, well, that means you're technically doomed, right? Because that means you have the mark, right? You see the logic in their breakdown. You see the logic in their philosophy, man, and in their scripture. Well, not in their interpretation of the scriptures, man. That's why you gotta follow the right guys in Israel, man. And those guys and those leaders are the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, man. From Apostle Tahar on down, man. This guy's signing an executive order about the economy, and he's holding a chip in his hand, man. I mean, that should tell you something right there. Even people who aren't in the truth, you got average, medium level Christians who understand what this is about right here, man. And you can't get it, man. That's scary, man. That's scary. So let's get it. Isaiah 37:7. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. If you go into the Strong's definition for churl, it goes into scoundrel. Who's a scoundrel? Esau, Edom, man. Fraudulent, deceitful, crafty. You know, it says fraudulent right there. You know, and this man's fraudulent in all ways, man. You know, this man claims that he's the people of the Most High, but he doesn't push any of the law, statutes, the commandments of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know, this guy doesn't call on the true name because he wasn't given the true name. He wasn't given the mysteries. You know, none of the wicked shall understand. You know, Psalms 50 and 16, who are you to declare my statutes? You know, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. Well, of course, he wouldn't understand because the earth has been given into his hand to be wicked, man. You know, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. He made himself to be the Most High and his son, you know, through lies and through rhetoric, through fraudulent, deceitful practices, being crafty, you know, being a scoundrel. So let's read this again. The instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. And if you go into wicked devices, it just goes into, you know, lewdness, wickedness, mischief, heinous crime. And that's what this mark that he's going to push is in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It's a heinous crime, man. You know, it's an abomination. And it's one of the prophecies, the prophecy that you can't get wrong, man. Even out of sincerity, you know, you can't get this prophecy wrong, man. If you have this prophecy wrong, then that's your ass, you know, Mr. Postman, man. You know, and I brought this out, and other brothers been saying this, you know, and here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 6,300,6. Now, here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Now, if you don't understand what this prophecy is, you don't have wisdom and you don't have understanding. That's why the scripture says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding. Well, that means if you don't believe the chip is the mark of the beast and you're not teaching it right, you don't have wisdom or understanding, man. Why do you think these scriptures harp so much on false teachers? You know, because there are going to be men who fill that lot of being a false teacher in Israel, man. Teaching faulty breakdowns, teaching for a filthy lucre's sake, man. Out here making rap videos, man. You know, bringing guns to camp, man. You know, teaching that the mark of the beast is Christianity, man. Because there's going to be men that fill that lot, man. So it also goes into plan, you know, device, that RFID chip, you know, wickedness. Well, you know, it's being pushed by the wicked, you know, the source of the wickedness in the earth, you know, evil plan, mischievous purpose, you know, plan, purpose, evil device, wickedness. The man, I didn't even see this. Incest, you know, being abominable, you know, adultery, idolatry, harlotry. Well, it just so happens that this land of America pushes this vibration out in the whole world, man. And call Halam Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai for me seeing this part right here as a C. Because last time I went into this, I only seen A and B, but this just jumped out of the screen on me right here. Let me read this again. Incest, lascivious. I'm gonna skip that word. Incest, adultery, idolatry, harlotry, which is pushed all throughout Babylon, man. You know, adultery, idolatry, and harlotry, man. You know. So, Lord's will, you were edified by this sit down, and I'd like to close it on out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Israel, a.k.a. the head apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well with sound doctrine. Also, shalom to the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to all the sincere Akim who subscribe to this truth. A hearty shalom to the men out there in the highways and byways, teaching and preaching in truth and sincerity, making their bodies a living sacrifice, risking their lives and risking their freedom to do so and bring it out. And last but not least, a hearty shalom to the Men of Valor Camp, NYC, New Jersey, first camp I ever heard the truth from, Isaiah 62, verses 6 through 7. Keep not silence, day or night, give him no rest. To Jerusalem is the praise in all the earth. So, Lord's will, you were edified by the sit down, and to the next time, Lord's will, shalom.